Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another day of learning. Welcome to Institute of Global Professional Free International Webinar. Thank you all for joining with us in this marvelous session, and I am Kamrul, coordinator of IGP from Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member, and I feel honored to host this webinar. And it's my delight to welcome you all to our Institution of Global Professional Free International Webinar. Once again, thank you again all for joining with us in this session, and I hope you stay with us till the program ends. And time to time, you like our Facebook page and subscribe our YouTube channel. Before we have completed our 811 webinars successfully, today we have a speaker. Today our speaker from Philippines. Today our webinar name is Kinds of Writing, a story of struggles and success. Before starting the program, I request everyone to share this webinar in your newsfeed and social media. And don't forget to mention your friends in the comment box to join this session. Today, our speaker name is Ma'am Nadia Santos. She is a Filipino teacher of Las Pinas City National Senior High School. Let's we welcome our speaker through the screen. Hello, ma'am. Good morning.
Hello.
Good
Good
morning, ma'am.
afternoon. It's 12:07 here in the Philippines.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Share your PowerPoint slide and then you can study your presentation.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Okay. Wait, sir. I'm having a difficulty.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, it's here. Okay. Uh, Okay. So I think, sir, I will be starting with my presentation for this afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I will be talking about the kinds of writing, a story of struggles and success. For today or this afternoon, our objectives would be to define technical writing because I will be focusing on technical writing. Second is to enumerate the characteristics and kinds of technical writing. Later, I will be giving one strategy in teaching one most essential learning competency or what we call the milk in technical writing, and I will also be suggesting activities um, after the teacher has already taught a specific kind of technical writing. But before that, let us first have an activity which is, or I call this one, Can You Guess Challenge. So in this activity, we will be able to somehow have a glimpse or we will find out the difference between technical writing with the other kinds of writing that we have. So based on this presentation for this activity, you could see the words audience, objective, content, and language. So I will be showing two pictures. Okay. So in your screen, you could see the first picture is how to make food video recipes. And the second picture is a stage play of one of our classical literature here in the Philippines, which is Ibong Adarna. Okay, so for the first question, what do you think is the content of these two pictures? Okay, so I will just be giving, you could write down your answer in the comment section of this live or of this webinar. But unfortunately, I can't see the comments. Okay, so the first question is what do you think is the content of these two pictures? Okay, so let us start first with how to make a food video recipes. So in the first picture, we could see that it shows steps or procedures on how to make a food video or food recipe video. Okay, so these are all about steps or procedures. And then on the second picture or in the second picture, we could see it is all about a play performed on stage. So these two pictures has a different content now from each other. One is about steps or procedures, and the other one is all about a play performed on stage. Let us now proceed to the second question, but with the same pictures also. So, who is the audience of the first picture? And who is the audience of the second? Okay. So, for the first picture, this is probably helpful for those who are called as the food creators or those who are cooking YouTubers. Okay. And then for the second picture, or in the second picture, this could be this will cater for those who are lovers of theater arts, probably a thespian or an aesthetes. Okay, for the third question, what are the objectives depicted in the two pictures? Okay, so for the first one, or in the first one, since the question is how to make food video recipes, this is quite obvious that this picture tells us about something that is to be demonstrated. So the objective of this first picture is to teach or to demonstrate to someone or to anyone who would like to make a food video recipe. Now, for the second picture, the objective is very clear, no? It's very simple to entertain because this is a play. Now, for the last one, what kind of words are used when making a food recipe video and a play? So, what kind of words are used when making a food recipe video and a play? So, for the first picture, in here we used a formal or tech and at the same time technical terms. Okay. While for the second one, sometimes in here we used informal language. Okay, especially if the play involves interaction with the audience, and this kind of play is used in open spaces. Okay, so we could see the difference of these two pictures when it comes to language used, the content, the audience, and the objectives. With this activity, we will now proceed to what now is technical writing. Okay, so technical writing is a kind of writing that uses specialized vocabulary. Most technical writing could be described as something written simple, correct, and specific. Also, when you write, it should be clear, easy to comprehend or understand, and complete. Technically, since this is a technical writing, technically it should be free from grammatical errors and should use correct punctuation marks. And at the same time, it follows the sequential organization and is written objectively. Okay, like I will give an example for the specialized vocabulary. When we talk about specialized vocabulary, these are vocabulary that is being used in a certain or in a particular field or a certain area of activity. Like, for example, I am teaching technical writing in grade 12, and I'm handling TVL, or the Technical Vocational and Livelihood Home Economics students. So, being a home economics students, their specialized vocabulary has something to do with home economics. Okay, so like here are the example of the specialized vocabulary. Some of them, like the words break, melt, peel, spread, layer, roll out, fry, saute, whip, mix, taste, add, weigh, cut, chop, slice, grate, roast, bake, steer, boil, steam, pinch, pour, and barbecue. So these are the specialized vocabulary that deals with my home economics students in grade 12. Okay. So also, it should be noted that to teach, inform, convince, and describe are the objectives of technical writing. Okay. So what are the kinds of technical writing? Actually, we have many, and here are the kinds. Okay, we have manual, business letter, flyers or leaflets, promo materials or promotional materials, product description, product documentation, feasibility study, narrative report, food menu, and warning, announcement, and notice. Okay, as promised, I told you guys earlier that I will be sharing a strategy in teaching one milk or the most essential learning competency found in our curriculum guide in technical writing. So I will take for example this one. So the objective is to identify the different kinds of writing based on its objective, characteristic, kind, and target user. So different kinds of writing, different objectives, different characteristics, and different target users. That is what technical writing is all about. Okay, for the steps, for the teacher to be able to execute this objective, he or she could make use of any product that focuses on its description, which can be seen in the packaging of the said product. So you could probably get a shampoo, a soap, a detergent powder, and then you just have to look at the back portion of it, or sometimes it is placed in front, and then um, you will see there the description about the product. And then, second step is that the teacher should prepare the product with its written description. So since this is a technical writing, we should give example of a text that shows the written description of your product, because this will serve as an example and at the same time a guide for our students. Okay, so here is an example of the product that I chose. And you could see here there are three variants, okay? And at the same time, you could also see in your screen the sample text, which contains the description of the product, okay? So in here, let's first proceed with the third one. Okay, for the third step, we could ask our students to read it silently. Or you could also ask them to choose a student and read it aloud in front of the class. Okay? So going back to our example, so here is a description of the product. It says here, Shield is your all-in-one bath soap, giving you maximum protection against germs and bacteria at the same time, leaving your skin nice and smooth. Shield Bath Soap has antibacterial ingredients, giving your skin long-lasting protection against germs and bacteria that may cause disease and body odor. Shield is infused with active skin moisturizer, or the shea butter, that helps maintain the skin's moisture while cleansing. Shield Bath Soap is approved by the Philippine Nurses Association. So there are the three variants. So Shield Bath Soap comes in three variants: the Shield Cleansing White, Shield Blooming Pink, and Shield Coming what's this, beige. Ayan. Okay. So let us now proceed. After the student has read this, let us now proceed to step number 4. You could show them a chart which includes the following. Here's the sample chart. So on the first column is the objective, on the second is the kind, the third is the target user, and the fourth is the characteristic. But we will be focusing on the features and key benefits of the product, since um, this is an example of a product description. Okay. Step number 5. For them to be able to supply the needed information in the chart, the teacher could ask questions like, so let's focus on the column for the target user. The teacher could ask, after reading the text, who are the possible users or consumers of this product? You can even ask your students to cite a particular line from the description that will support their answer. That is also for you to assess if they are just guessing or they are really serious about the text written in that product. Okay, so uh, let us be reminded that the answers here are really found in the product description that we had read a while ago. Okay, so for the objective of the product that we had read, obviously, it is the objective is to inform everybody what the product is all about. And of course, it also used descriptive words. Okay, so to describe. Now, for the kind, this is an example of a product description. And for the target user, based on reading the text, the target user of the bath soap is for people with sensitive skin. Okay. Now, for the characteristic which is found in the text itself, I had mentioned or written two of the features and key benefits of this product. So the first one is that it gives maximum protection against germs and bacteria. And the second one, it is infused with active skin moisturizer or the shea butter that helps maintains the skin's moisture while cleansing. Okay, for step number 6, um, we could also give another example for this one, but let us ask the students to bring any product with its description and ask them to analyze it based on what we had discussed in the chart. We could give this as an enrichment activity, and at the same time, the teacher could also give this an assignment as an assignment. Instead of using another product to analyze, we could also ask them to prepare other technical writing to analyze. Like, for example, a promotional material, okay, or a business letter, or a manual. So anything will do as long as it is a kind of technical writing. Okay, next. In the objective, I also told everyone that I will be suggesting an activity after teaching a specific kind of technical writing. But for today, I will just be sharing out of the 14 kinds of technical writing, I will just be sharing three of activities that the teacher could do in his or her class, no, as an enrichment activity for technical writing. So I chose the flyers. Okay. In here, the teacher could give it as a campaign material activity. Here in the Philippines, we during election or the campaign period, we really use flyers, no, as a campaign material. Okay, so the scenario could be they are to run for a certain position. I am pertaining to the student. The scenario could be they are to run for a certain position in their student government. Using the flyers, they could write their platforms, they could describe themselves, and they can even create a tagline for easy recall. Okay, and at the same time, aside from writing, they could also show their creativity in terms of layouting everything in just one piece or back-to-back piece of paper. Okay, so who knows, no? This will be really very useful for our students because they might be the future leaders in our country. Okay. And then for product documentation, you could see here a girl. Um, she's documenting what she's doing in front of a camera, since this is a product documentation. In here, we could ask our students to watch first a cooking show or a do-it-yourself recipe and the like from YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, Reels, or any other social media platforms. Okay. And then let them take notes or points on how documentation of the product is done or how it works. So let them think of what recipe, dish, the menu they have already cooked or prepared differently or with a twist. And after that, ask our students to document it. After documenting whatever dish they had cooked or prepared, we can ask our students to upload this one to any social media platforms that they have. Okay. And for the last one, the food menu. Okay, so in here, here's an example, no, of a food menu, but this is not yet the full blown or a full detailed food menu. But here you could see the name on how I was able to creatively gave a name for the menu of my restaurant, which I called Resto Fort. Resto Fort Resto Fort means a restaurant that comforts. Okay. Now, for my food menu, for the starters, I have there, you have a French fries. For the fresh of the grill, I have here the rice up hamburger. And for the drinks, I will be here fruit soda. Okay. In here, you could see that I really tried my best to be as creative as possible because I have to live to the name of my restaurant, which is the Resto Fort, the restaurant that comforts, because I will be catering this or this restaurant is really for those who are experiencing difficulties in life, that I will like them to be comforted, and at the same time, this is also for those who are moving on from a broken relationship, probably, or just to anyone who needs comfort. Okay. So in here, we could ask our students to be creative. Okay. So let their experience and emotion rule for the day in designing their food menu. Just give emphasis on what kind of restaurant they have and what food they are offering. So just like my example, and to what kind of customer are they catering. Like if the name of the resto is Resto Fort, resto that comforts, they could name their products like, you have a French fries, rice up hamburger, and I will be here fruit soda. You could just imagine what effect this creative names of food could bring to those people who are really going through no difficult times in their lives. Okay. Now, let's go back on my title for this webinar. It says here struggles. Okay, so what are the struggles of writers? It says here sometimes they lack critical reading skills, they lack understanding of grammar concepts, they struggle with editing their own work or others' work. They experience hard time identifying or creating a logical sequence of ideas, lack of a strong vocabulary. They're not used to pre-writing strategies, or they're really struggling to start a piece of writing, and they're not avid readers. So in order for the writers, no, for our students to write effectively, first and foremost, they should read. Because, for example, in technical writing, it says there that they use specialized vocabulary. So, in order for you to enrich your vocabulary words, your specialized vocabularies, you should read. And then after reading, you should get your pen and paper and practice writing. Okay? And then, eventually, it says there, no, practice makes perfect. Then definitely after perfecting your writing skills, I guess, you'll be able to write a technical writing in full detail, in full colors, and then everything will be just perfectly fine. Okay. So thank you. I hope you have learned something from what I have shared this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation about this topic. Thank you, ma'am. I hope our participants learn something new from you. And Now we are going to our quiz competition, and after that we come back again with our Q&A. Okay, ma'am?
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Dear participants, now we are going to our quiz competition. Today our quiz code is IGP quiz. The code is IGP quiz. Let's enjoy our quiz. Dear participants, this is our quiz session time. You can join this session by slido.com, and today our quiz code is IGP quiz. You can also scan our QR code from the screen to join this quiz session. And today, top 10 quiz competition winners get their quiz certificate after this session from our official Facebook page. Our Facebook page address is Institute of Global Professionals. I remind you that there is no relationship between quiz completion certificate and free international webinar certificate. After this quiz session, we move to our Q&A, and after that, we share our certification process. After 1 minute later, we start our quiz competition. So join the hurry up and mention your friends in the comment box to join this session. Let's start our quiz competition now. So be ready. Our first question is, the conclusion or end of the story is falling action or resolution. Option number 2, resolution is the right answer. Our next question is, character struggles with an outside force. Is it internal conflict or external conflict? Option number 2, external conflict is the right answer. Our next question is, what is the plot of a story? Is it what happens in a story or what doesn't happen in a story? Option number 1, what happens in a story is the right answer. Our next question is, a character that struggles with depression in an example of man versus society or man versus self. Option number 2, man versus self is the right answer. Our next question is, the beginning of the story, characters and setting establish exposition or rising action. Option number 1, exposition is the right. Our next question is, the tone of a story or poem is called what? Is it mood or moody? Option number 1, mood is the right answer. Our next question is, one message or theme of this story deals with the conflict between generations or the difficulty of learning how to place this. Option number 1, the conflict between generation is the right answer. Our next question is, used to describe the events that make up a story. Is it plot or setting? Option number 1, plot is the right answer. Our second last question is, story based on a moral character are often animals that we talk. Is it poem or fable? Option number 2, fable is the right answer. Our last question is, a student struggle to explain what they read. What strategy could you use? Is it retelling? After a child reads a story, they retell the story or repeating after a child reads a story that teacher repeats. Option number one, retelling after a child reads a story, they retell the story. Congratulations everyone, and congratulations of our top 10 quiz competition winners. Top 10 quiz competition winners get their quiz certificate after this session from our official Facebook page. Our Facebook page address is Institute of Global Professionals. On the leaderboard now, the top position is Tashi Dema, and the second one is Joel Banasar, and the third one is BFTCO, and the following Jafaria Salim, Kali Mekni Banasar, Jimalin Rivera, Rosie Lipakunla, Noor Elisa Apira, and the last one is Stephanie Katsu. Thank you everyone. Now we are going to our Q&A session. After a short video clips, we come back again. Welcome back, ma'am.
Yes po.
Dear
Hello.
participants, this is our Q&A session time. You can send your question in the comment box. Ma'am, our first question is, good morning, ma'am. Why is there a need to unpack the most essential learning competencies?
Okay, sir. Okay. Unpacking the most essential learning competencies. Well, for me, first, from the word essential, there are competencies. Actually, in technical writing, we have so many learning competencies. If we will not unpack this learning competencies, this will be a lot of burden on the part of our students and at the same time for the teachers because um, we might be teaching our students half-baked lessons, or we might be giving them activities which is just for the sake of giving activities. So I believe that there is really a need to unpack these milks and also to avoid redundancy in teaching the same competencies.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, we are still waiting for your question. Dear participants, if you have any question related to this topic, you can ask the question in the comment box. Thank you, ma'am. There is no more question. I see a lots of compliment for you in the comment box. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation and sharing your valuable knowledge with our participants. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And what is your last and final words for our participants?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank or to grab this opportunity to thank Institute of Global Professionals for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge about technical writing. And it is really a blessing, no, to share whatever I have learned because I've been teaching a senior high school for quite some time, and just like what I've told a while ago, practice makes perfect. But I'm not yet that perfect in teaching technical writing because of the many struggles after the 2-year pandemic um, that we don't have face-to-face classes back then. And thank you for staying with me in this webinar.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are also grateful to you. Dear participants, today our program name is Kinds of Writing, a story of struggles and success. And today our webinar code is IGP8445. The code is IGP8445. Please note that code. The code is IGP8445. Without code, no one is eligible for certificate. With code, you can claim your certificate anytime from our website. Our website address is eduygp.com. To download your certificate, you have to go to our website. After that, you have to enroll the program. And after that, you have to put the code. The code is IGP8445. And finally, you can download your e-certificate. After downloading your e-certificate, don't forget to celebrate with IGP checking. Thank you everyone for your active participation in this session. I hope you learned something new from our speaker today. Thank you everyone. Stay happy and stay safe.